Hello and welcome to the Unique CPA with your host, Randy Crabtree. Today, we continue our series of episodes on the power of community in the accounting profession. We'll explore how strong connections lead to healthier, more fulfilled professionals, and together create a supportive network that enriches everyone. The Unique CPA is brought to you by Trimerit, the specialty tax professionals.
Today, our guest is Logan Graf. Logan is owner of Graf Tax, ironically named Graf Tax. He is also founder and owner of a new community for the accounting profession called Counter, which we're going to spend a lot of time talking about. He's very passionate about the accounting profession. He and I, at least I enjoy talking to him. Hopefully it's reciprocal. We run into each other a lot of different places, and we'll get into, I think, a fun conversation today. Logan, welcome to the Unique CPA, or welcome back to the Unique CPA. This is a repeat visit for you.
It's good to be back. Thank you so much, Randy. It's always fun to run into you in conferences and hang out. Remember our last time in Vegas?
Was that the last one was Vegas? I guess. Oh, yeah, that's right. We went to dinner. That was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And then before that, we were at Tax Twitter. Was that or was there something in between?
Chicago?
Yeah.
Was it Chicago? Yeah, I think so. So we saw each other a bunch last year.
That's right. And I did actually funny. I was watching, because one thing I didn't mention is you've got a heck of a large YouTube channel, or nicely attended YouTube channel.
Baby channel.
Yeah.
It's growing.
It's doing well. I think you're what? I'm like close to 10,000 subscribers now.
I'm hoping to hit 10K by the end of the year, and it's looking like it's going to happen, which is really cool because a year ago, I probably only had about 3,000 or so, maybe a little over 3,000. So it's crazy how much it's grown.
Yeah, well, let's go on a tangent right away. So that the point of the YouTube channel is what?
Yeah, first I created a YouTube channel. I was going to talk about taxes, and I was like, this is going to be a tax channel, and I'm going to kind of talk about what I talk about on Twitter or X, and just here's how I run my firm. Here are my thoughts on the industry, kind of shake things up a little bit, throw some grenades here and there with how the industry thinks of itself. So, and then I posted a video where I went over my financials for the year. My 2021 is my first full year as a CPA firm owner. And I posted in 2022, and I got more views in an hour than all the other views in the past for all my other videos. So I was like, I don't think people want to watch me talk about taxes. I think people want to watch me talk about my firm and how I run it.
Yep.
And so that's kind of been the theme now, is I talk about, what's going on in my firm and how I run it, my thoughts around running firms. And that's evolved into, now I have a community called Counter, where basically it's almost another extension of my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
I'd get a bunch of people reaching out to me like, hey, Logan, I'm very inspired. I'm not trying to just say this, but people are like, I'm inspired by your numbers, your transparency. I'd love to run a firm like yours one day. Can we talk and meet and discuss it? And can you help me out? And I would just get a lot of those messages. And I'm running a firm, and I'm pretty busy running a firm. And if it was just one person here and there, I'd love to talk to them. But it was very consistent. And I was like, man, I can't just say yes to random people and no to other people. And so I was like, I'm sorry, I can't talk with you right now, but just hold on. I think I may be able to help you in the future. And so that's kind of the idea of the community was born for Counter. It was people that want to start their own firm are looking for help. And so instead of me trying to help one person at a time, I think I can try to help a bunch of people at a time. And it's been great. So it's a community geared for new and aspiring accounting firm owners. You don't have to be solely tax. You don't have to be only bookkeeping. You can be a mix of things. We got a whole diverse membership.
Nice. I want to dig into Counter more because it's pretty cool. The idea of community, bringing people together and helping is important. And that's a passion of mine, obviously a passion of yours. And let's kind of delve into how, the YouTube channel and people connecting and all that. But let's start with you starting your firm back in 2020. I'm guessing there was a lot of questions you had going in. It was you wanted to find resources. I'm putting words in your mouth, but in your mouth, resources and that. And I'm guessing that, let's talk about that journey before you even started on YouTube or started the Counter. How were you educating yourself to be a firm owner?
Yeah, let's rewind it back to 2020. I was on Twitter pretty heavily, now known as X. Sorry, I just can't get rid of the
I am the
Twitter.
same. Yep.
It's just easier to say for some reason, even though it's more
Yeah,
letters.
it is. You're right.
So I was on Twitter and I would just, basically hang out virtually with a bunch of other accountants and firm owners and just absorb kind of what they're discussing. And I would listen to a bunch of podcasts about running firms and just try to figure it out. I would interview different accounting firm owners. So I owe a lot to back in 2020, maybe even 2019, where I'd interview people I found on Twitter.
Wow.
Like, hey, how are you doing this? Like, what have you learned running your own firm? Like, if they're listening, thank you so much to those people, because I interviewed like 5 different people because I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I need some help. But
Really? That's pretty cool.
yeah, it was super cool. Like, really appreciated of people giving me their time so long ago. And 2020, Jason Stats, we can't get away from him. But
we don't talk about him. All right, you can talk about him.
Sorry. I'm sure he's mentioned every podcast, but he reached out to me and he's like, I Kaz fished him. We're calling it Kaz fished. Like, instead of cat fished him, he thought I was all in the Kaz, and he was running Kaz, like a Kaz firm.
Right.
He's like, what's up? Let's hang out and talk about Kaz stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm kind of just more of like a accounting firm, but I'll fake it. But so I don't know, got to know Jason over tweeting essentially, and we would do little virtual meetings here and there. And he was just thinking about launching his community called Realize. And he was like, man, I'm running a firm and I need help as well. I think I'm going to launch a community and leverage everybody else and do things together versus everyone doing things on their own. And so Realize was launched, later that fall 2020, and I was a founding member and I got in really early and I'm still in it. And it's like he kind of showed the blueprint of what the accounting community is. I wouldn't have Counter without there being a Realize. And so it's just crazy to think like what Jason has done has caused for many other people as well. There's other communities that are probably from Jason's Realize.
Yep.
It's an amazing ripple effect that he's created.
Oh, yeah, it is. But you're taking that and you're paying it forward now, too, and you're helping others. So let's get into Counter a little bit. So, I mean, I think we already kind of mentioned the ideas and why it came about because of, people reaching out to you and looking for knowledge and you sharing, you being open and being transparent with the knowledge you're sharing, which was pretty cool. In fact, I think I knew you before I knew about that revenue, sharing or your financial sharing on YouTube. And someone mentioned to me, hey, have you ever seen his videos on this? I'm like, no. And then I immediately went and watched it. And I think it was the 2022 version maybe that I saw first. And that was pretty cool to share because people have no idea. I mean, they start a firm. They don't know what should I expect? Yeah. What's my revenue? What's my client base look like? And so then out of that knowledge sharing, your passion for the profession, your passion for helping and sharing the knowledge and creating community, that's where Counter came out of. And so kind of give us the charter of Counter or what the vision, the mission.
It's all about the name for me because I'm absolutely obsessed with the name Counter because it's got a double meaning. We're counters. We count things, so we're counters. And then we're counter to traditional ways of running firms. And so my whole goal for Counter is to help accountants and accounting firm owners think outside the box in a way when it comes to running the firm. So trying to like cut the cycle of, the past 40 years of how accounting firms have been ran. It's not a bad thing.
No.
I get critiqued a lot about like, Logan, your way is not the best way. And I'm definitely not saying that. It's more of like, why aren't things different? Why have we been doing this the same way for so many years? Why is public accounting in this really bad spot when it comes to people wanting to join the profession? And why are we not getting really paid that much compared to 30 years ago? So it's all about kind of questioning things. And I'm hoping that Counter helps other firm owners see something different and to help each other, encourage each other to break the mold, because it's really easy to follow in the footsteps of previous firm owners. Like, it's easy because they saw what was hard to do when running their firms. And so they stuck to the tradition, the same path everybody else took. And so in my own firm, I'm trying to break that myself and not have a busy season, which is absolutely ludicrous. People go crazy when you start saying like, "Oh, you want to work 40 hours a week, or you want to work during the summer?" Why? We do all of our returns between January and April so we can have a life outside of busy season. And so it's really, I'm just trying to like, is there a better way? Can things be better? And so I'm trying it out myself, and I'm hoping to encourage other people and just share my experience. And if people see that and we're like, "Man, I want that," then great. If they don't want that, cool. But we need something different in this industry.
Nope. I agree with you completely. You and I are on the same page with that. You said 40 years, I say 80 years that we've been doing the same thing. You see, that's because you're much younger than me. So
So back
I mean,
back when you were my age, you're like, "Man, this has been going on for 40 years."
exactly. But that's what it is. And there's a couple reasons for this. I'm going to go on my rant now for a second, but there's a few reasons. It's our mindset somewhat. We're a consistency-based profession. We have to, consistency is part of what we have to look at when we're looking at certain things. But it's also, hey, it's been done this way forever and we're doing well. I mean, a startup firm is going to be making decent money, but if you're a partner in even a mid-sized firm, I mean, you're making $500,000-$700,000 a year. Why am I going to change anything? Well, you're going to change things because there's a much better way to do it. There's more efficiencies that you can build in technology. You can build in the automation. You can delegate, automate, eliminate, collaborate. And that, I love to see what you're doing there. So not to take your time, let's go back to what you're talking about. So from Counter then, we got the reasons and all that. What are the types of activities happening within Counter where people are going to be able to, gain and share knowledge?
So we have at least 2 events every month guaranteed. So one is where we have a kind of a veteran, if you say, someone that's been running their firm for a good chunk and have, "Randy, yeah, we got to have you on." All right. Yes. Put you on the schedule.
If anybody didn't know, you couldn't see us, I was pointing at myself. Sorry, I put pressure on Logan there. Sorry, go ahead.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you. And so we'll get people like Randy who've been there and done that and have learned, made mistakes and have learned from their mistakes. And basically it's about an hour of conversation type discussion with me on, here's what was pivotal in running my firm, and here's something that I did that completely changed the way I run my firm, or here's something that I wish I didn't do because it impacted the trajectory of my firm. So basically it's imparting, we call it the one thing series. So like, although we talk about many things, it's like, here's one thing that you should hear from me that completely changed the way I run my firm for the better. So I'm hoping that members will hear these things and be like, okay, I'm going to take note of this so I know what to expect and how to react to certain things based on other people's experiences. And the next session we do is called Outside Experts, where we bring in people that aren't in the accounting industry, or we try not to have them in the accounting industry, but people are experts in kind of their own field and that are able to teach accountants, firm owners, better ways on running their firm, essentially. So trying to get people outside of our own bubble to teach us how to run a business better. That's not like an accounting firm. So
nice.
Really trying to get outside thoughts, because we just see all our own accounting buddies talk about accounting all the time. And, it's kind of just, we're hearing the same stuff. So trying to get some outside thoughts in there and experiences, and to hopefully upskill these firm owners. And then we have a book club going on. We have mastermind groups that just started. So groups of 5 or 6 members that meet up once a month to share experiences that they're going through. And we'll have those probably at least twice a year, like a different cohort. I'm trying to collect as much feedback as possible. We've only been running for about 3 months. And so I'm really trying to hear from the community on how they're feeling and what they want to see with the community and people that I bring in and what we do. So it's going to evolve completely as we go, probably.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the audience, the members will evolve as well. They'll probably evolve into no longer being new firm owners and being more experienced firm owners. And so maybe we kind of shift gears for more of a more experienced firm membership, or continue to have the new firm owner appeal as well. So we'll see. I'm just super excited. We had 200 members. Not trying to brag, but we had 200 members sign up in the first week, which was just bonkers. So,
let's talk about that a second, because there's some other things. But I was with you, I think,
that's
the
right.
moment it went live, and you were just looking at your phone. There's 60 members already, and then like every time I saw you at this conference, how many members? And it was 100.
Yep.
How many members? 100. I don't remember the numbers now, but it was just crazy. And that's for a couple of reasons. One is that need for community, that need for support, that need to help each other. But it's also what you've done personally and being vulnerable and being out there and sharing, and people gravitate towards that. So I give you a lot of credit for taking what you build and sharing it forward, because people like you. I don't know if you know this, but people like you.
That's nice to hear.
If you're a nice person, it comes through and people realize it and they want to be part of it. So I'm really excited. So what are you at now, membership wise?
We're at so we have some free members that were in at the very beginning, like beta testers, but we're close to like probably about 280.
Yep.
But it's about 260 paid members. And so we're at like a steady increase trajectory. Some members turn out, they're just like, hey, I'm not using it as much as I thought I would, but there's a steady inflow of members, which is really cool to see, and hoping that the value continues to increase for people that join. And I've heard some great things from members on how impactful the community has been so far. So it's really, you have to participate to get stuff out of it. You can't you can't not post, and you cannot look at other people's posts and check it out. Otherwise it's kind of pointless to be there.
So are you looking to cap it at a certain number, or what's the plans for the future of membership?
No cap right now. I don't really see that unless it just gets out of hand.
Yep.
I think people naturally leave the phase of new firm ownership, where maybe they just don't see the value anymore, or they're just super busy, or they're trying to cut expenses. So I don't think it'll blow up too much, in my opinion. I'm kind of brainstorming launching a students section of Counter.
Yep.
So it would probably be free.
I like that.
Or maybe like a one-time fee for life. Very small fee, where like accounting students can discuss different things like accounting courses, internships, test taking, like CPA, EA exam taking, like career advice, all of that. And it would just be private for the students, and just as a way to like kind of give back. Because I have a lot of students that reach out to me on LinkedIn, and it's hard for me to talk with them as well, because then there's not really a space for them either, except on Reddit, which is super toxic. And I would never tell people to get advice from Reddit. So maybe it's like a more positive experience for students, like a community for accounting students. I don't know. Just
you're brainstorming
about it.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. I'm not like trying to make a bunch of money off students. I think it would be, again, free or something of very low cost for them to join. And then maybe they can somehow interact with the paid members in a way.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, because that's, any of us that can do anything to try to help the pipeline and showing a positive impact in the profession, showing that things can be different, showing that we are not, we have a perception issue, I think, in the profession as well. There's reality, but perception too is that we're just sitting and typing in numbers all day, and that's what we do. When in reality, we have major impact on the clients that we're working with, not just reporting what they're doing, but we're impacting what their future is. And so I think if we can like highlight things like that, and impact's important. People, especially the next generation coming in, they want to know they're having an impact. So I love that idea. Would you think they have that student run? I mean, because you personally will be running out of time, I would think.
Yeah, I would probably try to get someone to kind of lead it and moderate it and monitor it. And really, it just depends on how much stuff we want to do for them. Like, do we do any events for them, or
Yep.
if there's no events or anything like that, it's
Right.
mostly like just make sure nobody's like being super toxic
Yep.
or trying to mess things up in there. But
Okay.
yeah, who knows?
No, but brainstorming, coming up with ideas, thinking forward. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah. Student led would be great. Have
Yep.
some students in there.
Or have, whatever. I'm not going to, you think about it. But let me go back to now to where I was thinking, because you said something about you've seen the impact already of what's going on in Counter. Do you have, any specific stories of, yeah, hey, somebody reached out to me and said that this had such an impact on me and I've changed my direction or I'm doing this different? If not, that's fine.
Yeah, do you mind if I find the post real quick?
Yeah, yeah. So,
The post says, since joining this community, I've learned something new every day, and I have each of you that contribute to this community to thank for that. You've challenged me to become better each day, and I truly believe that the knowledge I've gained in the short time here has been on par with that first year learning curve when I was a new accountant. Even if I may never use the software discussed or encounter the type of work some of you do, my love language and learning is fed in your posts every day. Most of all, I'm amazed by the words given when someone is on a rant or someone is in their success. I can assure you that is not the accounting community I've experienced in real life. So each one of you that gives advice and encouragement to others in this forum is a breath of fresh air. It goes on, but
yeah.
like some stuff like that is like, man, that is just so cool to see and hear from.
Yep.
And I would have never thought it could be something that impactful. That's definitely my hope, but to have it so soon in the life of the community, it just means a lot.
Yep.
That people are feeling that.
You do these things, you hope people are getting a positive, confirmations and education out of it. But when you get something like that and somebody actually tells you what you think you're doing to help is really helping, that motivates you to keep
Mhm.
going. I know personally for sure. And I assume the same thing with you on that.
Yeah, it's like when I hear people talk about Bridging the Gap conference, they just love that conference and
Yeah.
have nothing but good things to say about you and the conference, Randy.
Yeah. See, you just made my day now. See, I appreciate that. I think I told this story on the show once before, but I'm going to say it again, and Justin can cut it out if I've said it before, I guess. But to go to that fact, I mean, that's what you want to do. You want to help the profession. You want somebody to not go through the mistakes you did. You want somebody to enjoy what they're doing. I was at a conference last July, and in this conference, I was sat in a session, and this speaker at the session, who I knew, he's a good guy, and I like him a lot. He's a great guy. He challenged everybody. We were at these round tables. He said, "Okay, now I want you all at your round tables to sit and talk among each other for yourself, reflect on this question, and then discuss it." And the question was, assume right now you're at your retirement party. This is your mindset. You're at your retirement party, and what would have to happen at that party for you to feel you had a successful career? And so everybody's, doing this. And, I think it's our turn to start talking amongst ourselves. And obviously I volunteered first because I talk. um, and, and I said, honestly, if one person at my retirement party came up to me and said, Randy, you made this profession fun for me, I said, I would like cry for 2 days, probably straight. And the most amazing thing, and I'll never forget this, and this meant so much to me. I'll probably start crying right now. I had this person across the table from me looks up and says, Randy, you've done that for me. And I'm like, oh, that's unbelievable. But my whole point was what you just said, what you just read, getting confirmation, somebody telling you that what you're doing is making a difference for them means the world.
Mhm.
I'm so happy that you got that, a letter from somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope it happens more and more, one person at a time.
Exactly. You hope, and even if you don't get confirmation, it's happening because someone's already told you. All right, let's do this. Let's talk about one more thing before we wrap up on Counter. The one thing I want to know is In this creating encounter, I mean, what are some of the key things that you see that you need to address in the profession? What are the common themes that are coming out from people asking about, how do I price, or how do I get down to 40 hours during tax season? How do I, should I extend? I mean, what are some of the major issues that you're having to address through Counter?
Yeah, I think it's all about confidence and how they interact with clients. So, and this is a theme I see outside of Counter as well, and experience in running my firm. It's not letting your fear of letting down someone impact your value, essentially. So, we are very quick to let up and give concessions to clients, give things away for free when they probably would have no problem with a little bit of pushback from us on something, or they would have no problem for paying something that they caused a problem or something new happened, or they probably wouldn't have a problem with extending their return or getting something late. And so it's really about like that confidence and how they interact with clients is a big theme so far from what I've seen in the community. And I've seen a lot of people encourage those posters like, hey, you're not the jerk if you say this to the client
Right.
or if you charge them this. And so I think we need that positive reinforcement on helping us break through that wall, because it is really hard to stand up for ourselves. It's one of our character defects as accountants, in my opinion. We just want to help and problem solve for people,
Yep.
but that creates a lot of problems for ourselves.
You hit the nail on the head. I agree completely with that. We are people pleasers. We have answers. They have problems. We know how to solve them. And so we just end up giving it away, or we end up working so many hours because there's so many problems that have to be solved. We help everybody else, but not always ourselves. And so given that confidence to say it's okay to, say no in this situation, or not, I can't help this client. And these are the clients I can have more impact if I am solely concentrated on this. I think that's I love that is something that's being addressed in Counter, because I think that's one of the major things that we deal with.
Yeah, stuff like that is how we change the industry. And when we get our confidence back and realize our value. And a lot of what I said was actually said by a member during a book club session that we had recently. So she was like, we're problem solvers. We want to solve problems no matter what. And so I was like, man, you're totally right.
Yep.
Like,
spot on. That's something that I think I might say in all my webinars these days that we're dealing with that. So, all right, but Logan, this was awesome conversation. I am so excited to see where things are going with Counter. I still haven't received my free membership, so we'll work on that. Since I was there the moment that you went live with this. No, I'm kidding you. But I'm really excited to see what you're doing. And really for the last 2-3 years that I've been following you, just to see the progression of you personally and what you've done has been amazing. So thank you for what you're doing in the profession, and thank you for doing everything you can to help others.
Yeah, thank you, Randy. Really appreciate you letting me talk about me and Counter and everything else. And you've been in my videos before, so
yes,
promoting the profession. So I owe it to you as well for my success.
Well, I was 2 minutes in there. You've done everything. But before we wrap up finally, and I think we did this last time, I don't remember what your answers were, but I'm a big proponent that we are not our job titles. We are our passions outside of work. And so when you're not working on Graf Tax or Counter or helping the profession, what do you love doing when it's not business related?
I love being outside with my girls. They recently found a love for being outside and being in creeks. So I'm completely shocked by that, because not too long ago, they did not want to get any dirt on them at all, or mud.
Really?
So now they're tromping through creeks with me.
Nice.
And that has been so fun to help their love of nature grow and just having fun outside. So I love being outside. I love mountain biking and ride my bike around and just getting out of the office.
Nice. And then finally, if people want to find out more about you and Counter or Counter, you're everywhere, but what's bestest places for them to look?
Yeah, if you want to find me, I'm on LinkedIn. Just search Logan Graf, Graf, and I'm on X at Logan Graf Tax. I'm also on YouTube and I think it's at Logan Graf Tax maybe, or
we'll put the links
Graf.
in the notes. So, all right.
Yeah, and counterscountercommunity.co.
Awesome. Well, Logan, thanks for being a repeat guest. I had a lot of fun today, and we'll do this again in about 15 years and see where everything's at. So
that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today on the Unique CPA. You can find the show notes for today's episode and learn more about TriMerit at theuniquecpa.com. Remember to subscribe and leave a 5-star rating on your favorite podcasting app. And join us next time for more expertise and insights on the Unique CPA. Professionalproductions.net